Shedeur Sanders was once projected as a top draft pick, a college superstar with stats that turned heads, over 4,000 yards, 37 touchdowns, and a name that echoed legacy, Sanders. Yet when draft day came, he fell hard, 5th round, 144th overall, a number that stunned fans, shocked analysts, and sparked a tidal wave of controversy. Some blamed his attitude, others pointed at his famous father, and a few whispered something darker, a quiet message from the league, stay in your place. So was this just a case of bad interviews, or something far bigger? Because what happened to Shedeur Sanders didn't just break expectations, it cracked open a conversation the NFL wasn't ready to have. When the 2025 NFL draft began, Shedeur Sanders' name floated near the top. Some mocks had him going 2nd overall. He had everything: numbers, confidence, and one of the most influential dads in football history. But pick after pick, team after team, they passed. And by the time the Cleveland Browns finally called his name in the 5th round, the internet had exploded. This wasn't just a slip. This was a free fall. No injuries, no scandals, no late-breaking news, just silence. It didn't make sense. And when things stop making sense in the NFL, people start digging. And what they found set social media on fire. Suddenly, rumors started leaking. Quiet phone calls between insiders, off-the-record whispers from executives. The story: Shedeur Sanders wasn't humble enough. He skipped the Shrine Bowl, chose not to participate in the NFL Combine, focused on his pro day and interviews instead, a move that some scouts saw as arrogance. Then came the body language claims that he was blaming teammates, too confident, or entitled. Former quarterback Boomer Esiason even said coaches and general managers found him off-putting. One anonymous owner reportedly ordered his name removed from the draft board entirely. Just like that, it wasn't about talent anymore. It was about personality. But personality judged by who? When your father is Deion Sanders, expectations follow you like a spotlight. But so does controversy. Deion didn't stay quiet. He went on podcasts. He made it clear this was his son and he had a plan. But that confidence, that primetime energy, didn't land well with old-school NFL brass. They didn't just see Shedeur, they saw Deion behind him, loud, opinionated, unfiltered, and for some teams that was too much. Reports say owners felt like Shedeur was walking in with demands, not dreams. One coach said he acted like he'd already made it, and in a league that prides itself on hierarchy and control, that's enough to trigger a silent punishment. Not on paper, but in that war room, deals die in silence. Then came the firestorm. Stephen A. Smith went off, accused the NFL of something deeper: bias, a quiet punishment, not for what Shedeur did, but who he was. A confident black quarterback, he said, with swagger, raised by one of the greatest, and that was the problem. He compared it to Colin Kaepernick, called it a message from the owners, one that said, we still run this. Even former Congressman Jamal Bowman weighed in, calling the league afraid of young black men with pride and power. Others joined. Tweets, videos, commentary, all echoing the same message. This wasn't about draft stats. It was about control. And here's where it gets uncomfortable, because the modern college athlete doesn't wait. They build brands, sign NIL deals, gain fame before their rookie contract. Shedeur isn't a nobody chasing a dream. He's a somebody with his own spotlight. And for the old school NFL, that's a problem. One coach allegedly told Josina Anderson that Shedeur was too brash in interviews. Another said he didn't act like someone who needed the league. But why should he? He already had it all: confidence, legacy, and business sense. The NFL, though, still wants rookies who crawl before they run. And Shedeur, he walked in like he owned the place. That's where the double standard kicks in. Baker Mayfield danced shirtless, grabbed his crotch, and still went #1 overall. Eli Manning refused to play for San Diego and was called strategic. But Shedeur, he skips one event, speaks boldly, and suddenly he's arrogant. It's a pattern that fans have seen before. Loud black athletes are labeled as difficult. Loud white athletes are called leaders. One fan wrote, "You hate Shedeur, but he's just doing what confident white QBs have always done, without apology." The difference? His skin, his background, and maybe even his last name. Shedeur Sanders fell 143 picks for reasons no one can fully explain. Talent wasn't the issue. Stats weren't the issue. But personality? Pride? A famous father who wouldn't play the NFL's game? That might have been the threat. And that's the real story here. The league says it wants change, wants culture, but not too much, not too fast, not too loud. The message was clear: know your place. And if that's true, Shedeur's fall won't just be remembered as a draft day shock. It'll be remembered as a test, not of skill, but of how far the league will go to stay in control. Because when power feels challenged, it doesn't fight back with fists, it fights back in silence.